think we have 3 more crypts to go. And look at this, I'm at one of them. What is happening? It's all a blur. What is yesterday? Okay. Inventory's full. I think I had some deaths. Okay, what's going on over here? Got a muddy scrap pile. Got a busted up one. This is where the bone pile was. Anything in the chest? Take all. Nice. Okay, so I think I'm going forward to make sure that these dudes are all gone out of here. Correct? There's some nonsense in here. This is done. This looks like more over here. Okay, so we're all clear. My heavy carb loading can maybe turn into snacking on some honey. But for now, we go all the way over here to the right. And we get to fucking work. Had a great day playing Dark Souls today. I did all of Blight Town. And now I'm not clear whether after you kill the boss in Blight Town, they give you this whole cinematic of being back in like the Firelink Shrine, etc. Some huge Iron Mask giant opens a portcullis to a castle, but then yet there's a path going down, which like directs you to a place called the Demon Ruins, and you get like a new hub to like keep going from where you are. So I'm like, well, do I go back to the castle where you showed me the cinematic, or do I keep going down to this Demon Ruins, which is immediately in front of you once you ring the bell? They're real questions. Kind of don't feel like hoofing it through. I kind of don't feel like hoofing it all the way back through Blight Town just to go back to the other area. We'll see. I get the rest of it. This is a pretty busy piece of leather over here. We got. Holy cow! Look at all. Drop one of those, take the ancient bark. Can I take the amber pearl? Got all this nonsense in my inventory. I've been watching a lot of Mark Normand clips. I kind of like him. Look at this. Just absolutely swimming in the shit. Okay, leave the bone fragments, take this. Full stack of ancient bark, that should be fine. More amber pearls. Yeah, I find Mark Normand funny. He's really awkward, but he's like really quick, and his bits are like pretty upfront. Good comedian. YouTube Shorts is like, I've resisted getting into TikTok because I know that those kind of things make me feel bad to be like stuck in one place, like scrolling for a long ass time. What kind of arrows are we using? On's head? Yeah, sure. Let's get some inventory space going. Ow. Oh, how you like me now? Ow. Yoink. Any more arrows in there? No. Because I know that like there's no worse feeling for me than just like sitting still, procrastinating for too long, without a task and doing something like where like you can just always scroll one more, like a Reddit or a Twitter or something like that. Never liked that feeling. It's like makes me feel anxious. So I've been trying to avoid TikTok for that. But I will say YouTube Shorts is the most incredible like time sink I've maybe ever experienced in my entire life. In that once you go for a while, you're like, where did 12 minutes just go? Or longer. It's incredible. Alright, my inventory's full. I gotta go back to wherever I'm gonna leave stuff. I'm just gonna start leaving stuff in the main hall from now on. Where's the main hall? This way? Okay. So this is where the iron lives from now on. You know what? This ancient bark can live here. Anything else? The coins I'll keep. Mushrooms, etc. Inventory's full of shit that I don't care about. Don't care. I don't need all this ancient bark. I have so much already. If you need some more, just take it. Pretty heavy. That. Another bone mass. Interesting. Okay, good to know. I guess they just show you the nearest one. Another chest here. Yes. Take the rubies, forget the ancient bark. Anything here? No. Ancient bark isn't hard enough to get to like be worth shuttling it around, but I'm just trying to shuttle around ore. I had a scary moment in Dark Souls. Well, I had many scary moments because the game is scary. But it's an interesting game for like, wait. It's an interesting game for when you're doing it, you're like, oh god damn, but then you get finished and like your sense of like satisfaction after beating an area or like playing for like 4+ hours. So far I've played, since I've been streaming, I've played Deus Ex. Like there's like kind of like terminal one-off games like Vampire Survivors or League or TFT I've played, but in terms of consistent one-player games, I've played Deus Ex, Octopath Traveler, and Valheim, and now Dark Souls. And my like ability, like with Octopath Traveler, I could play for maybe 90 minutes. Um, 2 hours sometimes, but like each basically chapter, I was like, all right, that's enough. I've been talking, I've been like recounting dialogue, recounting things. That's a big part of it, is all the talking. But also the game is fucking slow. Dark Souls was like 4 hours today. Because it's a good combination. It's similar to like Doom Eternal in that it's a good combination of traversal and fighting. You have a lot of downtime. I like that about it. It's fun. I got worried for a while. My weapon said weapon at risk, and it was at 60 durability out of 200. And then I was like, oh, that's not bad. It took me forever to get it down to 60 anyway. But then my weapons was doing like, I think it was doing like 2/3 damage of what it normally does. So I was like, oh god. That reminds me, tomorrow when I play, I have to get some repair powder. I can't let that stress happen to me again. I must have my stuff with me. I also died way more from falling down a pit than I ever did from like getting killed by stuff. Things do damage to you, but I find the last few levels have not been particularly difficult. Maybe because I'm stronger, or I'm not sure what it is, but I find in way less times where I'm getting just like killed by stuff, and way more often than I'm just like dying to like falling off a cliff or something horrible like that. Getting toxic poison for like 1,200 times my X bar, my health bar. Good morning, everybody. Okay, I know this place. I've been here before. Which of these pieces are jutting out? I need my administration. These ones. Go. What else? Big one here. A game I wonder if I'll ever play again is Skyrim. Sometimes you go back and feel extremely nostalgic for something you played, and sometimes something was so good that you know that you can't recount it. You can't like replay that feeling. And I kind of feel like Skyrim, it was so exhaustive how much I went through everything that I wonder whether I would ever do that again. I think not. How much iron do I have? 16. Inventory looking, plenty of room still. Let's keep hacking away, lads. Bloody scrap pile, a chest, some rubies, some amber. Really out? Okay. Nothing in the chest, eh? So what I will do... No, that doesn't make sense. I would drop like the guck or something useless like that. Problem with my inventory is too many foods. So I will drop the ooze, pick up the amber. Get to cutting. I gotta make sure I don't die with my 25 health. So next time there's a fight going on, I gotta fuel up. That'll help cut down my inventory a little bit. I find there's rarely dudes in these rooms, these hallways. It might just be... That might just be like... that might just be an estimation that doesn't make sense. But it might be true. Something that confuses me about NALCS is why would the ownership of FlyQuest change and then not change the name FlyQuest, which is, for all intents and purposes, a very bad, it's like a very like stupid sounding wussy name. That's what I'd like to know. Okay. Shuttling this iron back is kind of a trash strategy. There's got to be something better I can do than this. Okay, drop an amber too. Any full stacks of anything. Getting a lot of iron head arrows. This is great. I don't have to use iron on that. One less thing to drain my iron backups. Don't pick up the withered bone. We don't do that. Pick up that instead. Drop that. Put that in there. Drop the withered bone. Pick up the coins. Check the second chest. Nothing in there but a bone. I must have checked that one already. Roger that. Come clap this random mud scrap pile, which is, I think, misplaced. Not sure anyone would have wanted to put this one here. But I did find in Dark Souls that I finally found a weapon that is comparable. The games give you like an A to E grade for what appears to be its like scaling with your principal stats. And one of the reasons I've been using the large gigantic Zweihander, besides the fact that it's awesome and it's made the game so much easier, is that it has C scaling on strength. And I found something that has B scaling on strength, but it is just a gigantic log club. But boy, does it hit hard. Pretty fun. So I at least have a backup if something happens to my sword. I can always clap him with my insane club. I need to make a new torch soon. Next time. Next excursion. This part's I've already done, right? Yeah. What's in here? Block wall? Okay, keep going. Remember, eat before you fight. But yeah, FlyQuest is a trash name, but they're now probably like the best team in the league. Because they have Vikla and Prince, two insane Korean players. Who are, in Prince's case, just like Berserker, throwing away his career by taking North American money. Which you don't seem to understand is like mistake for your career. And the reason it's a mistake for your career is that the only way you can stay good at a game like that is sheer vigilance and practice. And if you're not getting good practice, then you're never going to improve. What is this? Nothing new. That's the thing. People are like, oh, what happens to people's skill when they live in North America? A game like League of Legends with the ridiculous patch cadence and the fact that it's a 5v5 game, it's not particularly about like your skill, it's about your practice. Koreans aren't like better at League. Well, they are, but the reasons Koreans are better at League is because they practice better and they take the game more seriously. If you don't do that, if you're not playing against good people, like, you're not going to be good. Second, NA moved the servers from LA to Chicago. We instantly lost any ability to ever compete on a stage ever again. And it's just because like more people live near there or something. I mean, I liked it. I got me from gold to platinum, and I'm not good at that game. Come on, come on. What's the angle for this? Okay, so top right. I'm not gonna go through these ones. Actually, that one's pretty gettable. Okay, back here. Okay. Take a couple of chops in here. And get my food going on. In the Joe Rogan, Louis C.K. Talk, like the Joe Rogan appearance, one thing they went off into is that comedy seems really fun again. Like things that are like, people have been complaining about the last few years about like PC culture or whatever. Like COVID shit. It seems like comedy is like people are like excited to go out and be back out and stuff more. Before this guy runs down and eats my asshole. Some food going on here. And that's pretty cool. I went to Lewis's concert last weekend in New York, and I had a pretty good time. It was mostly like, it was a pretty good concert, like maybe not the best he's ever done, but like a pretty good show. And what was mostly fun about it was like, it was pretty fun to walk into Madison Square Garden at the same time as like fucking 18,000 people. That was sick. Is there a bone pile here? Yes. Okay. Please die. Thank you. Things are like the way you can lose this. It was just pretty invigorating to like go where I was going. Oh. This clever girl. Hiding in the corner, eh? It's like a real energy to the air of going into a concert like that. It's probably the same energy people get going to like big sporting events. So I mean, I've been to them too. But like sometimes that energy is different. Like if, I mean, let's say you're like in a big football town in the US. I'm sure going into that like stadium on game day for like a big game is like a huge feeling. I remember one time I was in Brazil and went to, there's 4 main soccer teams in Brazil in the like in Rio with like different fan bases, and it was incredible. Like everyone knew every song. Like all they had to do was like, it was actually crazy. All they had to do was play like 2 or 3 hits on a drum, and every single person in the stadium would like know how to sing the song that was coming up. You know what I mean? It was unreal. It's just the energy was so cool. But the energy afterwards, like especially with like all like the fucking like people in their like teens and 20s coming out. I was like 26 at the time. Like the energy of people coming out was like live as fuck. Like, are these people gonna fight? Is this gonna turn into a huge brawl? I bet sometimes it would if like tensions in the country are up or something. It was just like just a 1-room place. Whatever. I got a good amount here. Okay, so fill up the scrap iron to 30. Drop those. Pick up the. I guess pick up more. I guess more. Pick up more scrap iron. Drop how much? 25. One more. Away we go. Yeah, just the energy outside was like electric. It could have got so crazy. You can just tell. Ichthia! I summon the power of the dear god. Away! Ooh, that's a big boy. That big fucker. It must have been a hard thing for them in the game. To like figure out which of the buffs to get from each of the boss. I still don't even, like, I'm really, really good at this game. Like, keeping knowledge of what happens later, like, out of my head. Like, yeah, like, I mean, like, if I ever watch a video with this game, it's like building tips and, like, cool houses with, like, you know, dragon heads on them. But in terms of, like, what actually happens in later bosses, etc., or, like, later runs, I just have no... See, I don't even know what, like, the powers do for, like, the later bosses. Later, like, those things. It's kind of a good thing to know, right? Oh. Okay, I don't want you to beat the troll. Oh, he's gonna do it. I'm taking those coins. This is really awkward. Oh, they one-shot that guy. I want the coins. Wasting an ether buff doing this. They'll probably go away. Do they only run with poison arrows on them? Feels like the first arrow that hits people hits harder. Am I crazy? Coins. We got the coins. Shit. It's gonna kill me now. All right. Each trophy, troll hide, roll trophy. Oh shit! Get no, get out of the way. I can always get some of this stuff later. Don't worry about me, neck. Let's get some extra coins. Accumulate that wealth. Look at this. This is chaos out here, man. I think I'm like kind of responsible for this. I'm like leading different biomes and interacting with each other. It's a boarhide trophies like in the water. Neck. Trolls fighting draugrs. Abominations destroying fucking beech trees. Wood and... I remember that. Huh! This is Ooze doing here. Oh, the swamps are nearby, that's why. Yeah, this area is like... This area is like Vienna at the end of World War II, when the third man is placed. It's like 4 different quadrants. I found it very scarring when I saw that deer out in the middle of the ocean getting killed by a leech. That was a sad moment. And I wonder why that troll wasn't fighting that draugr. It's like the angle difference, I guess. How you doing? You okay? You good? Alright. All I can put is this much. It's pretty sad. But I got a lot of stuff to put away in the inventory now. I feel like I also haven't fed my boars in a while. Torch is 1 wood, 1 resin. What wealth do I have? What riches do I have here? Ruby, pearls, ambers, rubies. There we go. This is starting to fill up. I can't wait to go sell that stuff. All these arrows, love it. Whole stack of poison arrows. How much weight is that? Okay, bring back the mushrooms. I feel like there's one more thing I was gonna do. One more of those. Was there something else I was gonna do? Carrots look ready. I'll pick them up next time. I had ether. Do that yet. But is there something else I was gonna do? I felt like maybe it was. Oh yeah, make a torch. One and torch. Hopefully the other one just like gutters out and disappears from my inventory when I finish it. Deer's out swimming for his life. I respect that. A friend about a month ago told me about this area that's like this contested mountain border between India and China, where they had like a ceasefire but with hostilities forever, and there's like a no gun rule or something. So like whenever they're having like border hostilities, they just like have sticks and just beat the shit out of each other with them. And he showed me some videos because it's like one of those things where like people hear about it but they never see it because there's never footage of it. And it really was that. It was like groups of people hitting each other with sticks. And it was like they're all like really upset and like kind of like sad about it. Pretty funny. Everything is faster in the water than me. It's bullshit. Is that because my swim speed is very low? Oh, I'm drowning. Oh. All this bullshit. What's here? Oh, mushrooms. All right. I cannot even see them. Look at this. Absolute chaos out here. It just looks too good not to do it. I don't care. Just stuff everywhere. It's like people digging up bones from like and grenades from like World War I and like the fields of Europe. Years later. Centuries later. You wish you could hit me. Feels like it's getting nighttime dark. Every time I'm in the sewers, I think about the like. Sounds like an abomination behind me. I think about the like. There's kind of like a mansion out like near a graveyard. In Divinity Original Sin 2. Like very gothic. Very Necklord like if you played Suikoden 2. And I always think the area had really like good atmosphere and really good music. Sometimes I read details about Baldur's Gate 3, the new one, and I'm just like, it seems like it hews so closely to D&D rules. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, but that part kind of disinterests me a little bit. I'm like, you get to level 5? Like, what is this? Seems like a whole different way of doing it, and like sometimes that worries me a little bit in terms of like I'm not gonna be that psyched about it. I don't know. Sure I will. I like them so much. Okay, what else is left here? 4 scrap iron, 25 scrap iron, and 30 bark. Okay, one more trip coming. Roger that. Probably best if I kill that guy. By virtue of how annoying archers are. But here I go. Again on my own. Going down the only road I've ever known. I only really know that song initially from the movie Old School. I watched a lot. I like that movie a lot. I think Old School was funnier than the Hangover movie. Alright. Not a good time to be at. This place at night. Look at this. It's fucking crazy. This guy's trying to cut me off. They're like turbo running. There's critters everywhere. The elites are faster. I just can't get in the water. If I get in the water, all is lost. That was close. Look at this guy. Asshole. Look at this. Hey, yeah, fight these guys. War zone out here. This is so funny. Look at this. Don't throw rocks at me. Throw rocks at those guys. They're the ones coming for you. They're the ones you should worry about. I'm just passing through. Like Franz Ferdinand. I've definitely started all these conflicts. Oh, that guy lobbed one over my head. I wouldn't mind checking a little more deeply into this woods for blueberries. I only have about 80 left of, which kind of makes me a little nervous. I like to keep it like at least 100 of the blueberries and raspberries. Blueberries and raspberries for my scones and jam. Scones with like butter and jam are mad good, but like to have it as like one of the bases of your nation's cuisine. Stop it. Biscuits. Good. Motherfuckers, you can't eat that shit all the time, though. No. Usually blueberries are more than a group of 3, right? Us. Where are you guys picking up all these rocks from? You have a pocket full? What's over here? Worth exploring at some point, I guess. I should know what's here. Carrot seeds? No, I'm good. Surprised there's not like leeches here. All right. Thank you for the shove, fellas. Armor thanks you. I've got a sticky note on my desk of things to do in Valheim, but I've basically done them all except new bow. I gotta start putting Dark Souls things on. Buy repair powder. Smile. Fuck am I? Straight north. All right. Blueberries here. Look at this ragged shell of a building. What's in here? Nothing? They have kind of like a bear noise to them. Slight complication in this game is if you're really attached to one playthrough. I read today that new biomes populate in areas of the map you haven't been to yet. You guys want some of this? Give me an axe level up, no? Alright. New biomes populate in parts of the map that you haven't explored yet. So, if you fully explore the map, you are not necessarily going to be well set up or set up at all for like when, say, like Mistlands came out. If you hit, this is before Mistlands, or when the next zone, which is like apparently like southern volcanic shit, comes out afterwards. Complication. Don't have too much fun, kids. Okay, so put this in here. 2 things of amber. Blueberries and mushrooms in there, and then take a nap. Right off by the fire, and hit the sack. Today I installed an SSD drive on my computer. It was one of the very, very thin ones, little half terabyte one that I just got for some good deal. So I bought it like years ago. And all these Twitch mods are just fucking wrecking my HDD memory card. So I decided to finally put it in. And it was, I had to go to the store to get a single M2 screw, which is like the tiniest of tiniest screws. So tiny that you can't even hold it in such a way that you can then meaningfully put the little like 2mm screw part into the hole. So I originally just tried to do it with my fingertips. What do I have here? Beef jerky and these 2 things. Should I get some more boar jerky? Get the carrots now. So I had to go to the store to get an M2 screw. He just gave me one. And then I tried to do it with my computer still standing, just taking off the side sheet. And so of course what happened is I then dropped it, and it then fell into my fucking power supply, which is a fan on the top. So this tiny screw fell into the top of my power supply. Like, I can't turn my computer back on this way. This thing's rattling around in there. Well, I don't know what could happen. I could electrocute myself. It could short out my computer. So I had to unscrew. I had to unscrew the plate on the back of the computer so I could remove the power supply, and then pull it around while it's still attached by its cable, and kind of like not shake it, but maneuver it up and down and around until such a point that that screw finally came out. And then get like a kitchen knife and use that, which somehow like magnetized itself to the screw, and like shove that in. And these turnips, yeah. And use that as the thing that put the screw in on like the 4th attempt. It's a little dicey. Guess I'll use a 3rd carb here. A carrot. It's like Bugs Bunny. So I got one more trip here. Oh. Look at this guy. What are you doing here? You can't be here. Can't be here. This is where my ship is. Do you understand that? You can't be here. What are you doing here? I guess they just like don't, once they get pulled out of their zone, they don't have any sort of like urge to go back to their zone or something. He didn't seem to like, okay, I gotta go back to the swamp. It's not moist enough here. These guys. It is just chaos out here. Hi, fellas. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, I see you, boys. Yeah, yeah, I know, I get it. Yeah, yeah. Just give me a little push across. Cute. So dumb. I turn auto pickoff off. There's so many carcasses here. Actually, like lower than I'd like to be. I'm too little thumps across the river. Are they still coming? It's not. Might as well Ether here, because I have to run back, and there's nothing to do there except stop and go in. I ain't doing nothing but running. The run feels like, I guess about the same length they did before. The other ones will be a bit longer. I can maybe move the ship to the far side. For like the last 2 or 3. Okay, let's do some interval training and get down to a jog. Oh boy, scary. So, despite this area being marked, I should at one point check it out to make sure there are no more crypts there. One here. These ones are all adequately marked. It's really cool that there's like at least 5 here. Such a small little swamp. Really lucky. Happened. Too big a jump, I guess. Nothing has none of them have been like super high yield, except maybe the first one. I think one of them had like 80, 90. I don't care enough about ancient bark, as I said before. I don't think I need to pick up any golden mushrooms. And that's good enough for this place. Let's get on our way. We're going to make some honey. We'll look around and see if there's a mushroom here. Got it. On our merry way. Cha-ching! 3 done. This has been crazy. This will be like, I don't know, I think this is the 3rd or 4th day of like just explicitly iron mining. I think it's one of the ones you need the most in the game. From watching Ko stream, it looks like the black metal can be like this accent, kind of like black marble type look to your base, but it may not be something you want to use for all of it. Still gonna be stone and iron and wood for a lot of what you do. Normal wood, stone, and iron still seems to be like the basis of what you do. Okay, I don't have any room for the other stuff. Want some too? Oh. It's really funny they don't swim. It's really stupid though that they can shoot arrows underwater. Like a skeleton standing on the bottom of the stream shooting arrows at you. If that kills you, do you understand the kind of rage that's going to elicit? Do you understand how I will feel in that moment? Okay, so it looks like there's 3 more. And the other 2 are like basically the same distance, so I don't think I'll have to move necessarily. I'll take some back. Anything here? No. Trees, the ancient bark, a bit of wood, the resin, hides. I have a leather scrap. This thing, I put the bone in there, and the gray dwarf eyes. Drop off the stone and grab some honey. Such a ridiculous amount. Okay, on to the next one. Do I have anything else I need to drop off? I still have too many food items. Whatever. Oh, posture. Posture, breathing, jaw loosening, all those things. Nose breathing, jaw loosening, shoulders back, so your like rear shoulder delts, your rear delts are engaged. All the things I always forget. Don't let your jaw work too much, like your tongue and your teeth moving around. Look at this guy, he is so deep. One-shotting next. At least you're busy, not fighting me. Okay, next one. Clockwise means I do the far ones next. Look at these meadows. Huge. Plains here too. Plains there. There's a couple of really small little plains here, and then a lot of plains around here. What's interesting, if I want to keep things down, besides having to go to Bone Mass for the boss, there's not many. I don't necessarily have to leave these 2 continents if I don't want to. It can be nice for saving room to find Mistlands, which I guess is already populated the map, obviously. But also just to like not have to do these like fucking super onerous ship journey. Bluebees. 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 Dude, I don't have time for this. Look at that range, dude. What an animal. I'm in carb mode. I don't need this. My poise is low. He's right on me there. I feel like he came at me like pre-activated. Like ready to go. Like someone was talking shit in his ear about me. Where's that one? Oh, there he is. Oh, I knew it. He knew he'd be here. I hate that guy. That's how it felt. Juked around the tree. How do you feel now, idiot? Okay, so I'm going to go around this way to make sure there are no more crypts. Though surely I would have already marked. Do-si-do with this abomination. Something really wanted me there. Oh. It's a bit close. Stamina, my chief enemy as always. Okay, it's one of these little reservoirs. What is the deal with these things? Rugger elite in a pool? Being a weirdo? Okay. So I seem to have done my research properly and found everything. Ugh, trudging around in Blighttown swamps and now trudging around here. At least this one doesn't poison you slowly over time. Nightmare that was. But the poison really actually was pretty weak in Dark Souls. At the bottom of that Blighttown swamp. I was really worried about that. It's the kind that was going to kill me. Okay, on to the next one. Eat a beef jerky meal. Get a little protein in me. Who wants some? Alright. Get to do this as per normal. Another mushroom. I wonder how jittery and hyper this dude is with the amount of honey he's eating. Probably not at all. Just have antibacterial qualities. Okay, look at that. The perfect two things to find in a chest. Love it. Lovely. We're doing great. Anything over here? Last like year and a half, like basically my Twitter feed used to be like, I don't know. It started off like when I first started joining Twitter. It started off as like reporters and like musicians I liked. And then by like 2019, I was like, politics is fucking AIDS and like a waste of my attention and time. That was a quick 30 stack, holy shit. And like all these people's job is to like upset me, the like Maggie Habermans of the world. At the withered bone. Look at the scrap metal, there you go. And then I kind of changed it to like actual artists and like all these like bots that make paintings and shit. No, that was later. First I did like a lot of digital artists who were doing really cool shit. And then like the NFT like crypto exchange market. So everyone just basically was like, here's my new edition. GM friends, like the most cringe fucking dumb people in the world. Someone being like, every day I log in to say GM to my friends, FRENS. I'm just like, this is horrible. You people don't mean this. This is the way you're talking because this community makes you money. Anyway, like you're super rare, open sea, like. All right, what are you guys up to? Eat the honey. Do I need the poison resistance? You guys coming down here? Yeah. They like me now. The fuck? Where's this guy? Is there a bone pile here? Yes. Nice. Okay, I don't want to get this poison. How many arrows using? The poison arrows? Yeah. You guys figuring out the pathing here? What's going on? Oh, yeah. This guy's ambushing me. Wow. Can't snipe like me. Fire. Is the poison not working? Weird. This guy's just being a weirdo. Alright. Clear those fuckers out. Something I realized yesterday was like how much that being effective in a video game is essentially like having a plan for the circumstance as opposed to like reacting in a panicked fashion. Probably a little guilty of reacting in a panicked fashion too often and just like hoping things work out. Okay, what else is in here? Okay, what's fucking up my inventory here? That probably. What's in here? More of this, nice. Okay, drop the iron by the front door. Ooh. Amber I didn't notice there. I used to hate Amber, now it's my best friend. Wait, muddy scrap pile, you say? Oh yeah. Okay. So I do have a scrap iron patch going. So I get more poison arrows, but 100 is fine. More amber over here. Any coinage? Grey dwarf eye, no one cares. Mushrooms. Get to hacking. I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so a room like that, just make sure you have everything done, and just don't be surprised by the things that suddenly screw you over, like you don't have health, and or just hoping things will go your way. It's just a computer program. It's not going to go your way in the ways that, like, necessarily you think it will. Sure, a game like RimWorld will have, like, an emergent storytelling algorithm, but it's not the same. This is awkward. Are you just gonna stay up there? That did poison me, right? Yeah. That also poisoned me, yeah. Okay, is that gonna kill me? What food thing is short? I'll have a meat here. Getting too close to comfort there. God, guys, spewing poison on me each time is pretty awkward. Oh, I knocked out the torch. All my ambiance is gone. I feel bad. I feel like I'm just like annihilating these mud scrap piles. They're going away faster. Come on, I saw something there. Huh? You could hide from me, huh? Unlikely. Anything else here? Looks like nay. Okay, just that tree trunk thing. Wasting everybody's time. Okay, which way did I come from? I came from this way, so this is the next one. Looks like this is also wasting everybody's time. Yeah. Got it. One time I drowned in one of these. I'm still bitter about it. Stuck on like a tree trunk or something. A root. There's like no way around it. It's horrible. Even the littlest bit of mud scrap like really messes with their pathing. Yes, I am wet. I've been wet the whole time. Oh no, I'm freshly wet. Never mind. Ooh, we might have a big one here. We have a real rich stack, this crypt. So then I have 2 more after this, I believe. I'm gonna feel pretty good after that point. After that, I'm gonna like go scout that little top part. I'm gonna scout this little strip here, get the Sunderling cores, and then just to make sure there's no more crypts up there, maybe do one more crypt if it's there with my boat. Otherwise, it's time for the big time. I guess that might be one literal full day of stone mining. I probably want like at least over 1,000. At least. Oh, just kidding. Get out of here. This is blocked. One more. Another game I'm wondering about is whether I'll play the other 2 Deus Ex games. Like, there is a certain consideration of which games are stream appropriate and which ones are just games I want to play. And a game with like that much time just like spent quietly reading emails in people's apartments that you broke into. Not sure that's necessarily conducive to a lot of fun. The games are cool as fuck though. Look at these torches here. Look at this ambiance. I'm just bashing around in the dark. Oh. Come on. Come on. Full and scrap iron. Roger that. Wait, which way is it? Is it this way? No. How the fuck do I get it here? Is it here then left? Oh. Crammed ass inventory. Okay, so this one's going pretty well. Making our way through. Making our way downtown. On. Got one more piece here. I don't think I can get it. Maybe I will, but it'll take me a while. Worth it. This looks like a blocked off area as well, but it is a muddy scrap pile. So I got everything I need in the world. Another nice couple of chunks. Here's the one I have to jump for. There you go. Pretty good there. This one's always pretty hard. Plus the old torchy warchy. Hard one. Nice, got it. Sweet. Okay, so I think that is one passageway completed. Nope, gotta keep going. Love it. (2022) was a pretty good book reading year for me, especially because like for a lot of the summer I was living in a place where I didn't have internet at home, and like one or maybe at max 2 bars of internet on my phone. I read a lot of this comes from my dad, but like a big sort of like early century Americana kind of enjoyment. And so like those old mystery novels like Raymond Chandler and his predecessor Dashiell Hammett. I read a lot of those. That shit is really enjoyable. It's kind of like basically it took like the Sherlock Holmes. It basically took like the Sherlock Holmes formula of like investigation segments followed by like occasionally segments of clearly him like sitting around thinking, like end the chapter, followed by some like climactic action near the end. It took that formula and it like made it kind of like quintessentially mid-century American, like early century American, which is like the cigarettes, the booze, the like LA seedy or San Francisco like seedy life, all this like small suburbs, like all like the get rich quick schemes of people trying to make like subdivisions and stuff. It's not that people are like necessarily, most of the time it's not that people are like cartoonishly evil with like a diabolical nefarious plan, being like, I would have succeeded too if it wasn't for you brasky kids. It's more like someone will like be willing to let a couple of murders happen so that they get the contract to be like the people to develop a subdivision. And just be like fucking millionaires for life. Pretty cool. A lot of drinking. Okay, so I need space for the rubies and the chain. I don't really have it. So what I'll have to do is just leave those here. Grab this shit. Nice. Did that fill up a ruby stack? No. But I got that mad money. Look at this. Okay, the rubies. I'll drop this in here. Pick up those rubies. Guess I'll keep the stuff on me. Eat a honey. If I leave it there, it's fine. Got the coins. Awesome. Another one. That's great. There's a lot of wealth in here. Nice. Okay, so there's only one, but there's pretty cool stuff in here. Have anything I can fill up and leave there? No. Okay, on to the next one. The boar jerky's kind of waiting. My first pickaxe is done. Oof, that hurt. He doesn't seem to have much health left, so let's just give that boy the business. Okay, cleared that all up. Should be a couple more pieces here. That was like pretty quick action. Mostly because they didn't seem to want to like defend that bone pile very much. Alright, what else is in here? The chest. More iron, I'm not complaining. This is a wealthy one. Next time it says collected scrap iron, I gotta bring it back. I find these ones go by really quickly. The ones that aren't part of like a... here's the next one. Pick up the mushrooms. For like the 20th time, I think the soundtrack slash ambiance in here is inadequate. I would have liked something. Just a little something. But, as I said before, it does add to like certain effectiveness to like the slaving away. There's a ton of fucking iron here. What's that? Scrap iron? It's in the way. Entrails. There you go. Anything else? We good? No good here? Yeah? Alright, what's over here? One more? Pretty good. I want to take a count of what's in here before, because I think it's like literally over 100. Mostly just from the chests being so good. Okay. It was basically all from one. 1/3 of it was like just incredible yield. Incroyable. Is this torch almost out? Where are the pieces? One more up there. Got there. Oh, come on, that was it. Okay. There we go. This is last piece. In there. I'm gonna burn out this torch. And across the western ocean I must wander. All for me grog. Me jolly jolly grog. Nice. Come on. I'll get it. And across the western ocean I must wander. Come on. What you shouldn't do is keep hitting the same spot from the same angle. That ain't gonna do it. Come on. Come on. Up a bit. That was 2 shots in the same one, you moron. I don't think these are possible. Clink. Clank. This one's got actually a bad angle here. Take a better look at it. Where can you see it? It says all that. Come on. Alright, random interest. So I think that's everything. How much extra did I get there? 6. Anything in there? More poison arrows. Strictly something I need to like deal with. Okay, so 30, 60, 90, 120. Like this is possible, right? 30, 60, 90, 20, and 50. Like, did I really get 156 iron from this? Because that's that's insane, right? That's like an all-time record. Okay, so leave the coins here and pick up how much That thing is 6 should be fine. I have to drop 1 of those. Drop 1 of the 6. So that's 100. Is that not 156 iron from 1? Is that unprecedented? Is that not unprecedented? Like, is that not like borderline twice the amount I've ever gotten before? It wasn't my last record like 85? That's shocking. I'm so iron rich that I'm like Jeff Bezos. Like, if I today made like $1 million, I would be like crying on the ground. But then if you have like $75 billion, you make $1 billion, and you're like, yeah, okay, that sounds like a normal day's work. It sounds like what I deserve. And Bezos is still the scapegoat. He's still the guy who people always use as like the rich guy. He's like the 6th richest guy or something. Something about him though. He's got that kind of like quality. He has some sort of billionaire quality to him. That's like the kind of guy with the kind of look, with the kind of job, I think, that people will like associate it with it in like an envious fashion. Not sure. Good point. Like I've heard people make before. It's like Elon Musk in an interview or something. Being like, they're like, oh, you're the wealthiest man in the world. It's like, oh, I'm pretty sure Putin has like quite a bit more money than I do. Quite a bit more stuff. Good point. I really thought of it before. Like, we talk about who the richest people in the world are by the people who like file taxes. Ow. Stay away from me. Oh. The old leech juke? That was a good one too. These guys going for me? Yeah, we like get mad at the people who are we get mad at the richest people in the world of the people who file taxes and are somehow beholden to like have publicly stated funds. But there's a lot of people who are like control huge amounts of stuff that we'll just never know about. For example, like if you're a country that makes the vast majority of your wealth from like resources that you control as like an authoritarian government, like Iran with oil, and then you don't have to owe your people shit because you're not reliant on their like taxation to like fund your government. You're just like, fuck you guys. We just control all the oil and sell it. I guess Saudi Arabia is kind of the same way. Russia clearly the same way. Those are the kind of people who are like, those have like levels of wealth in Saudi Arabia and Russia that we like have no idea of. Look at these guys. They're like slaughtering the poor forest creatures. It's a rough time. This is a rough place to be a meadow. These are like the lamb people in Game of Thrones who like live near the Dothraki and get like wrecked by them constantly. Why do we have to live here? Whose idea was this? Yeah. The Russian government controls all the gas. I think it's the same with Saudi Arabia and Iran and Russia. I think they have like levels of wealth that we'll like never know about. Because who do they have to tell? Nobody. We look at like, there's like news articles lately that are like Chevron, BP, Shell, etc. are like posting record gas profits. It's like quarterly or annual profits of like 150 billion. Like, do you think that like compares to like what national governments are making who control it? I think it's like way more. Should I just go back and run now? Might as well. I'm only going to have to be able to pick up 2 things of iron anyway. Should pick up more food. Yeah, exactly. They're oligarchs. Basically what happened is that like Russia pretended to be free when the USSR broke up. And so they basically just like appointed cronies to control entire industries. And so it's basically the same as like having an authoritarian regime, but there's like people who are like, okay, you're the steel guy, or you're well, not the oil guy. I think that's more centrally run. Yeah, but the oligarchs are like people who are like basically appointed to handle the stuff that people already handle as a government before. It's insane wealth. We're like mad at, we get mad at like, we have such like a shitty hater culture, like fucking Redditors and shit, that we like get mad at people who like created the companies that all of us use in our lives every single day and think they're like the bad guys somehow. It's like totally fucking diluted. Like literally it's like an entire culture of like coping. We're all just copers. Oh yeah, you for sure are on a thin slope if you have that kind of money because you're still beholden to them. I'm not saying it's a good life. I'm just saying that like they have crazy wealth that they're not answerable to public. They're not answerable to it publicly. Makes a huge difference. Meanwhile, like I live in Vancouver and like one of every fucking 6 cars I see now that's like a new car is a Tesla. It's because people want them. A white Tesla is like 1 in every 10 cars here. There's more white Teslas than there are black people in this city. I read an article that apparently 1.2 or 1.6% of the population of Vancouver, or like BC or something, is black. It's so crazy. It's weird. It's like not diverse at all in some ways. And I think the same thing is with Saudi Arabia too. Like when MBS took over, basically like became like the ruling party in Saudi Arabia, he like locked up all the people. I mean, BC is the warmest part of Canada by far. There's a lot of people migrate to the like Ontario, etc., because it's like the richest part of it. And there's a lot of people in like Nova Scotia area because the Underground Railroad took people from like the north during Civil War up to that area. But BC is like the nicest part of Canada in a lot of ways. It's just pretty far west. But yeah, like when MBS was basically taking over Saudi Arabia, he like locked up most of his family members in like a hotel and didn't let them leave until they like surrendered their assets. Those are all people who are like hugely independently wealthy just because of like handouts of being part of the royal family. Okay, shooting arrows at an ancient tree. What an idiot. Is there Abomination behind me? There he is. Oh, look at that move. He does the backflip move. Oh. I don't want you here hitting me with arrows once I come outside. Shit. Oh. You either. Deal with that later. Maybe I should eat something before I go out. I think I've got honey in a chest somewhere. This one? I think it's the other one. Oh, the chains too. I forgot about that. Okay. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to take the chains over here and put it with the rest of the stuff so I don't forget it. Check this out. I got 156 iron from one crypt. You understand how insane that is? Like an all-time record. Alright, so I need to drop something. I'll drop the coins. I'll pick up the scrap iron. And then I'll drop 200. I dropped 25 of these. Well, we're doing great. Do I have enough health to get through here? And we're off. All right. Hope these guys don't mess me up once I'm out there. Okay, they're gone. Great. I'm gonna go south along the Black Forest area to make it a little safer. It's also a little faster to run through the Black Forest because there's no water. Try to avoid these guys. I'm gonna go to the base and drop off my stuff this time because I think it should be nighttime by the time I get back. Imagine I got stuck in those roots like that when like an abomination was chasing me. Like how much of a nightmare that would be. Holy, that would be bad. Alright. Anytime now if you want to pick up the pace and get some of that stamina back. Come on, Shouty. What time is it? 9:45? Hopefully I can do all 3 of these remaining ones tonight. I suspect I can probably do 2 of the 3, depending on how good they are. Still got 2 more trips to get all this iron back from this one. God, I feel so slow. I guess I'm spoiled by Eikthyr. I still don't know what those, like, mom idol, woman idol statues are for. They're just, I guess, a flavor thing. Pretty sweet. Ow. Asshole. My dinner tonight is like the meal I make that is like the most filling. I try to do it like before or after or around a leg day at the gym, which was yesterday. And that meal is a full pound of ground game meat. Today was elk. 0.48 kilograms, so I think that's about exactly a pound. And kind of make it Korean style. I put the meat in a mixing bowl, and then I add salt and pepper, chili flakes, which I find the best flavor for kind of like stir frying things, and then chopped up garlic and ginger, add sesame oil and soy sauce. You let that shit just kind of like marinate for a while, and you chop mushrooms, a whole shallot, maybe carrots if you have it, and kimchi. And then you... Oh. And you don't even need like rice or a carb with it because it's just so filling. A full pound of game meat is like ridiculous. Of any sort of like ground meat. So you put like the shallots and a bit of the ginger, like half the ginger, maybe a third of it, in the pan with olive oil. Make it pretty hot. Like I did it actually a little bit too hot today. It was on like medium, like 5 on the... I only have a coil oven, but I put it on like 5. So it's all the shallots and like a quarter of the ginger in the pan. And then add the mushrooms so they kind of soften up a little bit. And then I added, normally I would have maybe red pepper as well, or carrot, but today I just did like, it was a little more simple. And I had then put all the ground elk in, and then added the kimchi, and then some sliced pickled ginger, which is kind of overkill, but can be pretty good. And then once the meat's like half done, which actually went by really quickly today, you kind of like carve a hole into the pan where there should just be juice, and put 2 eggs in there to simmer, and then cover it so the eggs cook from the top down, and you got yourself the most like filling, high protein, high fat meal. So good. You got to eat well if you want to maximize your time at the gym. Yesterday for my meal after I did my leg day, it was a good leg day too. I had 3 small medium potatoes that are like, yeah, that's a good description of them. And then 2 big slices of bacon and 3 eggs and an avocado. So good. Filled to the brim. Like huge amounts of fats. You're not gonna be hungry again that day. Oh, there's an iron version of the Atgear. Interesting. Blood Drinker, Skullcracker, Deathbringer. I'm not sure I need that. I'd like to have a sword and 1 other weapon. I was tempted by the battle axe before, but the battle axe and the sword both are slashing, so it's kind of stupid to have both of those, though I would like to have my axe level be higher. So maybe I'll do a mace again, or wait to get one of like the special weapons and just keep going with the sword. When do we get into the 2-hand swords? That's the shit I want. Okay, what I should do today is probably do a little bit of farming. What kind of seeds do I have? Do the rest of the carrot seeds. Gotta be 39 by now, right? Finally. Jeez, it took forever. Alright. So still too many slots in some ways, but all I'm really doing is continuing to do my fetch quest for now, so we're good. How's my ship doing? Deer out there doing God knows what. These dead pigs out here, slaughtered by Draugr for some reason. Oh, got a soaker. Rip. So. That low angle sunlight. That actually hurt my eyes a little bit. It's like too bright. Like a sunlight. Not good. Probably not good for the old eyeballs to have a screen approximate sunlight when it's not sunlight at 10 to 10 at night. Run, gentlemen, run! I should time this run at some point to see how long it actually takes. A little brutal, but it'll get shorter for the last two. I don't know if this happens for other people as much, but well, I know it doesn't. Like, when I was a little kid, I had like a couple of ear infections when I was like 2 or 3 years old, like tubes in my nose and shit. Kind of like harmed my overall how robust I was, I think. Maybe too many antibiotics being that age or something. And I don't know if there's like scar tissue in my ears or something, but like even as I got to like even as I like hit 20, etc., when I took flights, my ears would still like fucking kill on the descent most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time, like the longer or the first flight when it hadn't been when it'd been the first flight in a while, my ears like really hurt. It's like my worst pain of the year every year, pretty much, unless I burn myself or something. And I noticed when I lived in Panama, I was living in an area that was like pretty. Wait, I forgot to get those blueberries. I noticed when I lived in Panama that I lived in an area that was like pretty high up, and there's like a lot of altitude changes, both just from living there and from like taking buses around, etc. And like my ears a lot of times kind of like, oops, sorry, kind of like crackle along here, like what feels like kind of like the back of the jaw into the ear canal area. Like it feels like that area, like changes pressure a lot in a way that's like really noticeable. I wonder what you can actually like get done about that. What's this guy doing? What's he looking at? Something attacking him? Okay, where am I? Have I gone too far? No. Just a little bit far south. What's that guy doing? Just existing as a Draugr out in the marsh. Is that Abomination fighting something? I gotta go straight north past this guy. So from the last time I checked, it was about 3 minutes. So it's like about a 5-minute run. There's gotta be like more efficient ways I can do that out. One thing I did notice in Dark Souls was that some of the surprisingly, some of the best scaling with strength items I found were actually some of the bows. Okay, what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna drown in here. Were actually like the bow and arrows. Some of those had like really, really good, I think, B strength scaling. Which is, I've only found one melee weapon that has B strength scaling so far, and that's like the huge giant club. Oh. Leave me alone, please. So that's a good bonus. Of course, your weapons are so heavy that like you can't really even carry the big heavy weapons with the bows. Okay, so what's left? 30, 25. I gotta pick up 2 more. Okay, so I need to bring out 22? 20. Okay. So 1 more after this. Eat one of the mushrooms. Don't have them. What do I got right now? The honey. I don't have any honey on me. I guess I'm eating a berry. Away we go. I remember the first time I played through this game like a 1.5 years ago. I remember it struck me just like how miserable I was whenever I was in the swamps. The risk of poison. No. The risk of poison, the fact that you're like always wet, leeches in the water, the whole thing, you're just like, I don't want to do it. Oh god. So trying in so many different ways. But it takes time. Things get more manageable. It just sucks to die in new areas. Seems like taking the old route up along this like northern stretch of crypts is a little smoother than the other way I was taking. Hey, pal. I'll obviously wait till we get like a release date, but I'm kind of wondering what kind of games I want to play to prep myself for when Baldur's Gate 3 comes out. Like, am I going to play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, or are those just like way too slow? I think I would like to play them. I think they're classics, and they kind of seem like the kind of thing it interests me. Though I don't like those like game combats. The kind of it's live action with like pauses for like conferring with your team, like a quarterback or something. I feel like a game like that, like a game like Dragon Age, I tried to play a number of times, but never was really truly into it that much. And part of it, I think, was like, I think it's pretty fun to something like that. I like to kind of be like the mage, who's like the quarterback in the back, who like kind of watches things happen and then just kind of once in a while chooses what thing to do. But most of the time in games like that, it's like more effective to have your hero be like the big thunker at the front with like the strength. I'm not sure if that's always necessarily the case, but it always just kind of feels like most. I haven't really thought this through that much, but it does generally feel like most kind of tactic-y, live action-y games. It just kind of feels like the big heavy melee guy. Even like in, like, feels like the melee guys are like often kind of like your backbone and will always to some degree be the strongest because every one of these games wants to have some sort of like Giga Greatsword. It's sweet, but like it feels like a little bit boring to play that way. I gotta go back, clear some of this stuff out. A minute 24 in Ecthier, so I guess I'm not getting too much more of that. That time doesn't really... I guess that time goes down when you're in the portal? It's hard to say. Oops, that goes here. Money goes here. Carrot seeds. Chain. It's everything. Some honey, take 3 with me, drop the blueberries off. Away we go. A lot of people say there's like so much talk right now about like China and US and like how insecure the US is about like having like a rival in China. And then a lot of people will speak about how like the vast majority of like the population inflation that'll happen in the world in the next century will be in Africa. And it makes you think like there's so much like talk. Well, there's a fair amount of talk lately about like rare earth mining in Africa and these horrible slave labor conditions and how we need these things for like lithium batteries and all these other issues. And then every once in a while you hear something being like this random ass poor country just found like the greatest trove of like rare earths under it that we've ever found. And it makes me think that like people talk a lot about America and China. And those are always going to be places with like huge advantages. But it does feel like I always kind of wonder when like the India surge is going to be and like what's going to happen with Africa and like how much time does Africa need to like is there enough of it like is there enough of both of those places that's like habitable and like easy to live in to the same degree that like America is to get to the point where they're hugely dominant countries. I saw this like chart that was like century over the past 3,000 years what each country or region's like estimated population was. And like if you want to say one country that had like sort of a shockingly high population like the entire time, it's like India. There's like other huge surges in other places, etc. Like it was like during like the Aztec Mayan era, it's like a lot in fucking Mexico, etc. But like if you want to say pound per pound who had like the most population on average over the course of the last like 3,000-4,000 years, it was like for sure India. And like they're getting to the point now where they like are still hugely populous. Like what things have to is it just that too much of the country is like brutal conditions of like heat and humidity and like what exactly is the thing that's going to make that turn into like the most dominant country? Kind of feels like one of those things that will happen or should happen, right? I don't know. What am I thinking about lately? What does India need? You think it's a government thing? That's true. It seems like the religious segmentation is hard doing anything. It seems like the religious part is making it like it's getting like almost more fractious and like more divisive lately. At least I read more about it. I can't believe I have to do another trip here. Sheesh. How many is that? That's 18. This is like, I think 4 full trips. Yeah. Seems like almost worse lately in India. Alright. Fuck you guys. 2 skeletons waiting to snipe me. Yeah, I think it's a really good point you're making. Like, there's a lot of people who had like good things to say about Narendra Modi when he came in. But now it just seems to be like, why is this place so Hindu? And like so like making that like such a thing to rally around. Like, I don't know what the percentage of like Hindu versus Muslims are in India. But it's not like 9 to 1, I don't think. Could be wrong. But yeah, I wonder like what it'll take and will it ever happen that like those like really hot, highly populous countries, like huge parts of like Central Africa near around Nigeria or India, whether those ever will have a point where they're like somewhat dominant. I don't really think so. I think that like a lot of places have such a good setup already that they'll always like kind of brain drain resources. If there's anything we've learned in the last like 100 years is like we've really learned how to like siphon money to like the already powerful people. That's like an art that I don't know if we'll like ever stop. If you read like cyberpunk literature and like all those things, I don't think that people ever really, when you think of the world that way, we pretty rarely think of things as a utopia anymore. We kind of think of it as like a dark reality. And it's like so economic. I don't know. It's hard to say. At the same time, maybe people are looking at that kind of thing through the eyes of like humans being the way they are. And increasingly, this is like especially like a accurate topic recently, is that really I think what we need is like huge leaps in our intelligence. And all those things are like technological in nature. And maybe maybe the ways we do eventually figure a lot of stuff out is to like to some degree offload our intelligence to like AI, but also just like become smarter and less like selfish. Right now we still like rely on like human brain, basic caveman thinking for a lot of stuff. I don't know how we get over that, but to some degree I think we will. That arrow just sailing off into the wild. I really like this part. This like beautiful river through the Black Forest. There's like really like steep mountains around it. All right. Yeah, but will like, if AI does take over, like what does that mean? Like to what degree does that like affect our like ability to govern each other? Like do we like, is it like Deus Ex where you like JC Denton fuses with the AI at the end to become like the ruler of the world? That like rules us all fairly and justly? Do we like let that happen? We're not smart enough. Like America made a good like constitution for sure, but we're not like smart enough to like rule ourselves that well. And like the way that's like forward thinking and like egalitarian. We're just not good. We're just not smart enough. Yeah, supposedly society is sort of like evolving, and it is for sure, but no, I don't think so. What's the video? This guy's going for the boar. Was it like text talking? Like, was it two chat GPTs or something? This deer has been out there in the water this like for like a day and a half. I gotta scare this guy out of there to get him back in his get him his life back. Hey, get out of there! Stop swimming. Okay, it's pretty close to night. I'm gonna go back for that last one just because I'm sick of doing this. It was full on AI. What do you mean? Was it like one AI simulating two conversations, or was it like two separate ones? That kind of thing is one of the theories that people have of how the best way for these things to work together is like three segregated ones that interact with each other to try to like form consensus or whatever. That's like an idea people have. or like how like AI could work for like governance or figuring out stuff that's like out of our hands. Two separate AI talking. Yeah, that's really interesting. There's a channel on Twitch I saw today. I think I had seen some news articles about it. It's called Watch Forever. It had like 12K people on it, and apparently it changes every minute to do something else. And it was, I don't know, I watched it for like not that long, but it was interesting for sure. They basically do like this, like, for a while it was on like a TV guide channel. For a while it was like this fake kind of Seinfeld-like thing. I think I'd read some headlines about it. But there's a podcast I listen to every week called the All In Podcast. It's like 4 venture capitalist guys. Super smart, super like controversial, super cocky. With 4 or at least 3 or 4 pretty different viewpoints. And that's like kind of like where I get knowledge lately of like how much AI, that and Twitter are like the 2 ways I see how much like AI adoption has like happened at an unprecedented rate, even over the past like 4 months. Like OpenAI is like, I don't know, one of the most impactful companies I think I've ever seen. Let's take a look at this, shall we? I'm always worried whenever I'm naked and alone that like that's the time I come out of the portal, that there'll be a dude attacking my ship that I can't fight off. Wait a minute. I've been on YouTube for like 10 minutes. Oops. There we go. I'm back. All right, I didn't really do much. I ran to and from the crypt, and I got killed by a wraith. Sorry. Note to self, skip that part of the video. Or not. Cinema verite, you know? When I'm streaming, so far I've played Deus Ex, Octopath Traveler, and now this, and Dark Souls Remastered. And then I played a bunch of like brain-off games like League of Legends and TFT and Vampire Survivors as well. Now I'm trying to focus on like mostly getting through one-player games. My favorite games when I was a kid were like Squaresoft RPGs. I played a lot of WoW, like when I was in college. Played a lot of League the last like few years, but I'm kind of like mostly off it now. I don't know. I got a big Steam library, and a lot of stuff I've always meant to play, and always meant to beat. So I'm just trying to like use streaming as like my motivation to some degree for like getting through all these games I always wanted to play. Yeah, late 90s, like mid to late 90s Squaresoft was like insane. Up until like kind of Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy IX, that was like this insane streak of like everything being so good. I would say FF16 is probably the first one I've been like, I probably will play this in a long time. Like 12, 13, these are not games that I was like remotely tempted to play. Even like 10, I didn't really like them. But 16 sounds like it's going to be kind of like, I don't know, I think they're kind of like, it might be kind of like FF9, and that's kind of like back to like their things they do, you know? I think it might be good. You don't like the videos you've seen of 16? You don't think it's kind of like a retro, kind of like Blast of the Past medieval style? Yeah, that's true. I know what you mean. But I think like all of the, I don't know, this is an overgeneralization, but it feels like all of like the double-digit Final Fantasy games have like a character design problem of like it being very bland. Oh, are they? So it's gonna be kind of like Final Fantasy Remake. Like, how action are you talking? I didn't play 15, so I don't really know like how much it'll differentiate. Will it be similar to FF7, the remake? Oh, it's like full on action. Yeah, I don't know. If that's true, that's like very much not what like the series has always been about. Yeah, I'll have to see. I really like the way that they're kind of getting back to the summits and the summons and the medieval playstyle, and the ads with it be like, "I am Ifrit," like the sword of like the soul of revenge, and how the main character was. That was actually pretty badass, I thought. Yeah, it's always been a series that like I don't think modern last 2 decades SquareSoft like really knows what they're doing with their brand. Like generally as a company, they're like all over the board currently. Yeah, I know what you mean. RPGs are like comfy, you know what I mean? Like they can be hard, but they can be hard in a different kind of way. You still can kind of put the right team together and you can kind of eventually get to your power fantasy whenever you play one. You're never like wrecked and destroyed the whole game in an RPG. Yeah. But I think it's like an attention span thing. Like I think streaming culture, etc. kind of kills RPGs a little bit. I think people need a little more like inputs now. People still play those games for sure. It's like Squaresoft always wants to be like the big flagship of RPGs. I just don't know they have the chops anymore. Like they don't have Uematsu, they don't have like Sakaguchi, they don't have all those guys who are like just insane beasts. If I have to click buttons nonstop for the whole time, that's not relaxing to me. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's really fun to like, they're just like different satisfactions to them. Yeah. I think if you look at the decisions like the upper management of the company makes, I think it's like generally really bad and like really consistently really bad. Like I'm not a big fan of remake culture. And if you look at what they've been putting out the last few years, like the amount of remakes, half of them shitty and like rushed they've been doing, it's like unreal. Okay, on to the next crypt. What time is it? 10:25? Okay, I can do one more. It's like the shuttling back and forth to get the iron out is like the thing that's taking me the longest. Holy shit. All those PS5 exclusives, and now they're saying the finances are down at Square Enix. Yeah. Like the things that happen with the Deus Ex games, being like these aren't successful enough for them. They have a lot of like kind of ludicrous sales goals they're going for. Offloading some of their assets. Yeah, they're kind of flailing as a company. But when they were good, man, they were really good. I still think that Xenogears is like the most like artistic company, like the most artistic game I've ever played. Like actually fucking like story genius. I know it has its like flaws and it was like there's some parts of it that are rushed, but there's something about the most ambitious things that always have some messy elements that like kind of in some ways add to its greatness in some ways. There's like a certain kind of argument for like the big messy ambitious game that kind of fucks up being something that I like more than the really, really super tight unified game. Yeah, the Enix merger was like a huge part of it for sure. just generally speaking, we need like more competition, not less competition. I watched the podcast Drop Frames sometimes, and they were kind of talking about that on Drop Frames just like 2 episodes ago, being like, there's not very many of like big third-party companies left. There's like Rockstar and a couple others, but there's not a whole lot of companies left that aren't like part of one of the big conglomerates. Yeah, I agree. I guess they were how Enix was in Nothing Compared to Squaresoft. Enix was like a grade B studio versus a grade A studio. They're the two things that are supposed to compete opposite each other, not necessarily get merged to become like the big dog. Look at this. So much battle. This is all from me running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Everything comes through here and everything fights. Enix had the Soul Blazer quintet or like triplet with ActRaiser and Illusion of Gaia. Not ActRaiser, whatever. It was whatever the first game was. Soul Blazer, then Illusion of Gaia, and then Terra Enigma. Those games are good. And then they had I guess Enix did Dragon Quest games, didn't they? Yeah. The best Star Ocean is the PS1 one, right? The PS1 or PS2 Star Ocean? The one on SNES was like not it. It just wasn't up to snuff. I'm gonna go check on this one to see if I didn't forget anything there, because my auto pickup's not on, so I'm a little worried about that. Yeah. Dragon Quest has seemed to like continue to be pretty effective as a franchise. This is really on my ass here. The elites are so fast. They're so annoying. The Dragon Quest series seems to be fine. There just seems to be so many JRPG series that are like, they kind of blend in my head. Like Legends of and Trails of, and there's just so many series that I think like, I don't think they differentiate themselves that much. Too much like humanoid or anime like looks, and too many like annoying characters, and I don't know. Star Ocean Second Story, what system was that on? Dragon Quest is like the purest RPG series. I know it sells really well in Japan, but I've actually never even played one of them ever. Ever. I think that they are apparently really long. Like the last few as well. And there's so many of them. They're up to like 12 or 13 now, right? And then you like, I watch a ton of like retro YouTube videos when I'm like playing some game that takes half my memory. And I know it's like 5 and 8 and 10 or something are supposed to be like amazing Dragon Quests. Star Ocean is a really cool idea generally. People criticize the early ones, the SNES and PlayStation 1 ones, for like filling out the story with like unnecessary, superfluous backtracking. But I really liked playing that game, I gotta say. Star Ocean generally is a really cool idea. The SNES PS1 era for Squaresoft is like, I think they'll never match that, or like you can't match it. You can do other good stuff, but that era was like also because I was a little kid, etc. Like really did it for me, man. Amazing. So I don't think all RPGs have always been turn-based, but I prefer it. Yeah, I prefer it too. I played Octopath Traveler. That was too slow in the combat, but had a nice structure to it for sure. Some of my favorite games from those old like Squaresoft era are ones like Secret of Mana that were action-based, but still like for what they were super fun. Games like that are fun because you can like knock it through in like 6-8 hours if you know how to play the game. It's like a day with your buddy if you want. So fun. But yeah, I'm surprised by the FF16 part. That definitely, from what you say, that makes me like a little bit more reluctant to be like that jazzed about it. I do know that the guy who I think they're giving creative control of the game to the guy who had such a success with FF14 though. So like maybe he's just like in his element where he's like at his full potential right now and he'll do really well. Do you mean Eiyuden Chronicles? Oh, he got me. Fucker. Yeah. Well, I think he's done so much for the company with making FF14 go the way that it is. That I think they're going to kind of like let him do whatever he wants to do. So hopefully he goes like in a good direction with it. Yeah, I have that game wishlisted on Steam. And I've actually been looking at some stuff for it. I'm also kind of going against my own remake, remaster ideas, but I heard that Konami is doing a lot of remasters lately. Like there's a lot of rumors about Metal Gear Solid, but I think I've seen ads for them redoing Suikoden 1 and 2, and I'm actually really excited for that. That's actually one of the ones that I will like 100% play in 2023 when it comes out. Is Suikoden 1 and 2. I've played Suikoden 1 like a ton of times, and I own Suikoden 2, which is like an expensive game. When I bought it, it was like 10 years ago, and I still spent like $150 US for it. But those are games I will for sure play and be really excited to play again. I really like the way they do that game. Like the music is like beautiful. I listen to a lot of like YouTube playlists that are like game soundtracks, and those Suikoden 1 and 2 songs are like, partially because they're more like East Asian or like whatever South Asian, like they have like a different kind of like sound palette. Those games sound so good, and they're like the graphics and everything, those are great. Yeah, Suikoden is so good. It just really does, like, just the aesthetic of that game I think is one of the best ones they ever did. Apparently some of those YouTube videos say that people criticized it at the time because it was basically didn't look much better than 16-bit. But it still looks really good. Like the graphics in that game are like still the same kind of like style of a 16-bit game compared to like the rendered background shitty polygon style that most PlayStation 1 RPGs were. But damn, it looked good. And like it's so incredibly satisfying to set up your castle and have all these people join it. Like it's the best feeling. Yeah. I think there's a lot of popularity for most RPGs would do the polygonal character, but I think I'm not the only person to think this, but I think like the Xenogears style of polygon backgrounds and a sprite character that you could like rotate around was my personal favorite. It just looked the best, I think. Because the character polygons were so bad. Yeah, 108 characters. But anyway, I will say, I don't want to be like a bummer, but I do think I was so excited for Eiyuden Chronicle. But the more I see stuff about the game, I'm not really sure that I like the look of it. But we'll see. I definitely want to. A lot. Some of the videos I've seen lately, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm jazzed about this. To the same degree I thought I would be. That's all. I have been generally really excited about it. And I want them to do a lot. I want it to be really good for sure. Just some of the later videos, just some of the videos I've seen lately, I'm like, I don't know if this looks sick. There's like a shark character. Eiyuden Chronicles I'm talking about. Some of the videos I've watched recently, I don't know. I don't know if it looks that sick. That's what I'm just worried about that because I really want to enjoy it. I also would say that I really like tactical games too, like the Final Fantasy Tactics and like XComs of the world. I bought Triangle Strategy. Hopefully, I'll like that. I heard it's really wordy, but I just love in any RPG like putting together a party of like different characters with different strengths and having them like work together as like a unit. I'm excited about it too. I'm just saying some of these videos I've watched lately, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this looks as sick as I thought it would. But like in some ways, some of my favorite things in games are playing a game like Divinity Original Sin 2 or like even XCOM or something, and like in a tactical game putting together a party which like really works together well. Nothing too similar to each other, like 4 things that cover a lot of bases with like unique strengths. I really like games like if I'm playing Shining Force or Shining Force 2, I'm not sure if you played those games. But I really like using the unique classes. The guys who like add something separate to the party. That kind of stuff I really like. There's a site called RPG Fan that I've looked at recently, and they had like a pretty good best of year list, I gotta say. Being like best story, best turn-based, like best voice acting. There's a lot of stuff in there that like gave different categories on, and it gave me like an idea that like Legend of Heroes, whatever, was actually like a quite a good game this year. They like Xenoblade Chronicles, which I don't think I would necessarily play. They kind of showed like a game called Citizen Sleeper, which is an indie game. Apparently was like quite good. Look at this. Can you break apart the chest? Take all that. Can't. Drop those. Take these. Alright, that's good enough for now. Any other wealth in here I'm missing? Yellow mushroom. Mushroom. Yeah. Shining Force 1 and 2. I actually replayed both of those this year because I was like bored playing phone games because I didn't have internet at the place I was staying at the summer. And I played Shining Force 1 and 2 again for like the millionth time. And also played Shining Force CD, the Sega CD one. That was new to me. I hadn't played that before. I think that game didn't have a world map, but otherwise was like a vintage Shining Force game. And then I started playing Shining Force 3, like emulating it on like a Saturn on RetroArch on my phone. And it was pretty sweet, but I need to give it an actual go on a computer. And I also, yeah, man, you were like right up my alley. I also played Breath of Fire 2 this year. Probably for like the 5th time, probably like the 3rd or 4th time I ever started that game, and the first time I finally beat it. And Breath of Fire 3 and 4 I also like so much. Breath of Fire 1 is probably the one I played the most, but in some ways I don't like it that much compared to the other ones. Like 3 and 4 are like beautiful. They look so good. Look at that. What a good hit. What a good pickaxe shot that was. Yeah. I really liked it. Did you ever play Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter? The like one that people say killed the series? Yeah. They had like the tutor system to some degree. And then they had the one where you'd mix all your... It's actually like a really smart logistical way to do an RPG. Is to have it like, okay, you're gonna have way too many characters for the game, so just here's where just make all your characters into one character. That's true. That was a really creative part. They were even doing that in the first game. Like you'd be like, okay, here's all your like shit characters, like the fish and the thief. Combine them with the big guy to make one like insane character. So then you'd use Nina, Bleu, the hero, and then one like fucking insane dude. That was a cool idea. Because unless you're going to do a Final Fantasy X style where you're like incentivized to bring all your characters into the party all the time, you just have like every game has filler. Yeah, it was so good, man. I like having a sorcerer and a healer, like really specific classes. And then have your hero just being an absolute beast. Really cool. It's true. I don't know why they don't. Yeah. I guess they don't want to rip off Breath of Fire. Poison arrow, chains. Sorry, I got no poison arrows. Yeah, there's always like filler characters. Just admit you have filler characters. And like let them combine to be like the cameo. Let them all come together as one. Shining Force is the kind of game I find really fun. Especially for like the thing I was saying before. How like, yeah, there's like centaurs and mages and wizards. But I like to kind of like just choose one of those. And then there's like the weirdo classes. There's like the Steam Knight. Or like the Wolf Baron. Like choosing like the weird ones. And using all those guys is so fun. Try to get a Bird Warrior in there. All those things. The ones that have real strengths and weaknesses. And try to like really play up to their strengths. That's the most fun way to play it in my opinion. It's a pretty big crypt. Anything over here? I haven't got any coins yet. Disappointed about that. Hopefully some coins in here. Nope. The Ogre Battle games I tried to get into, but I can never really get into them. I heard the SNES one's pretty good. Look at that. That was like 4 pieces of scrap pile. What the hell happened here? I got ripped off. What? What a ripoff. But like, I don't know. The Ogre Battle games are cool, but I think to some degree, like you get most of that in Final Fantasy Tactics because he like was the same guy making the games. And then you hear about a game like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and you get so excited for it, but it's so different. I mean, it's not that different, but it's different enough that like it kind of turned me off a little bit. Where's my torch? It's gone, finally. Okay, jump up here. Nice. Piece up here. Oops. Okay, so we got one more little piece to hack away at here. Get up on the rock. Get up on that rock. Can I get it from here? Oh, that was it. Okay, gotta dry off a little bit here. This should be a pretty easy piece to get. Oh, come on. No, that's not it. One's good, then the second one I don't have enough stamina for. Come on. This one should not be this hard. There we go. Nailed it. Okay, so I think that's everything for this place. No, I think there's some in the previous room. Okay, wait. Hold on. For this one, clear. This one, clear. Nothing else in these. Nothing over there. Nothing over there. Anything I want more than the 15 poison arrows? Yeah, I'll take that. So this one's pretty light. Definitely makes up for that other one. Chest open, nothing in there. Thing in here. Oh, see a piece. Where is it? And then getting a little extra? No, not giving it to me? All right. This one's clear. Okay, so it looks like I've gotten all this one. It's bone just floating there. It's so funny. World save in 30 seconds. Anything in here? No. All cleared. Okay, looks like I've got everything. So, how much room do I have left? I'm going to take that. Then next time I'll take the other 25. Go eat some honey. I take 4 more. There's no point, really. Alright, off we go. After that, I think it's time for bed. I only had 1 coffee today, so I should be able to go to sleep pretty early. Day 160. I skipped the whole night. Perfect timing. Feels so good. Excuse me. Kind of want to do the other one too, just so I can be like done the mining by the time that like I start tomorrow. But that's gonna take me to like 11:45, which I just don't need to do. It's not wise. The other thing to remember, okay, so I have to. Okay, so in Dark Souls, I have to buy some repair powder so my sword doesn't go out next time that I can. And then in this game, I have to remember to kill 2 more abominations to get enough roots to make my root set, because I lost it in the fucking out in the wild somewhere. I gotta kill at least 2 more to get my root set. And then I have to decide how much I want to, when I want to kill bone mass. I think I'm gonna do my whole. I think I'm gonna do my first pass in my keep first, and then I'll take on bone mass, and then I'll go on to the next stuff. Because right, I've been working on like a working title keep for like the whole game. It's like a house with like a patio beside it. It's a bit low key. I got to do the big dog at some point. I've died so many times. My run used to be 41. It's now barely 36. Shit. Jumped into the water a bit prematurely. Okay, can you get up there, please? Thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm glad this is enough, because I gotta do this run, I gotta do another run to get the rest of that iron. And then I don't think I'll take the ship home tonight, but maybe I will. If I can start it before like 11:15, I'll take the ship home. Oh, I can't. I got 1 more crypt to do. Never mind. Suikoden in some ways was like the opposite of like the kind of game I liked, because you wouldn't necessarily need or want to have like a one concrete party you always used, but they like made it so it was really, really easy for your like lobies to catch up. It's actually like probably a game that'd be better to like experiment in. But those parts of it are cool. It's so satisfying to get like 12 levels for like a lobby. Yeah, this deer is obsessed with my boat. Gotta use his ether and go back now. I'm gonna do another food. think it's really necessary just for running back and forth. He's a swimming man. He's turning into a master swimmer. There's a leech in the water. Fuck you. When Nina turns into a bride... What were we talking about at that point? Were we talking about the morphs or were we talking about Dragon Quarter? We didn't really talk about Dragon Quarter. In Dragon Quarter, Nina was like this like robot girl who like filtered the poison air. And then I guess maybe some of her morphs or some of her like upgrades. Breath of Fire 2 had like character morphs where you'd combine your characters, either two characters together or you'd combine... No, I don't think that's the way it worked. I think in Breath of Fire 2, you combine your characters with the shamans, and different characters had different morphs with different shamans. That's the way I remember Breath of Fire 2. I just played it this summer, so I'm pretty sure about that one. So like someone like Bula would be fine on her own, but you'd use like the hero who couldn't morph because he had the dragon form, and then Nina and like Bo and like Ox had good morphs. And I don't remember that many of the other characters, to be honest. And then in the first game, you like combine 3 characters into one. And then game 3 had the like the Tudor like sensei kind of system, where you combine them. You combine the characters with different people to like affect what kind of level ups they got to customize them. That was cool. That was a nice way to do it. And then I think 4 had the same system. Four, I would like as much as the other ones if it had a world map. And I still think I really liked it. It's really beautiful. But I still think 3 is a little bit of a better game because it has a world map. You just can't not do that, man. You gotta have it. I don't even know what Capcom does anymore. Do you know? Like what games they make? I don't know. Oh, ambush. What's Dragon Dogma? Sounds familiar. Oh, they're shooting arrows at me. Oh shit, I want this coin. Oh, these guys are gonna fuck me up. I'm gonna die here. Okay, can I drop something? Go back and get those coins? Yeah, 1 boar. Oh my god, there's so many guys here. This is a mistake. I'm gonna die here. Yeah. Fuck. It's probably a 1-star Drugger. Oh, that was so greedy. The late night decision making. Getting lazier. Oh. Dragon Dogma, what is that? I gotta look it up. Dragon's Dogma. Action role-playing hack and slash video game developed by Capcom for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in 2012. Oh, this looks cool. Manticores and like griffins and shit. It's kind of like Dragon Age-ish. This looks cool. Really nice. Yeah, that sounds really good. I haven't really played much console stuff after like PS3 era. So like I guess that does look like a PS3 game, but like that was around the time where I stopped having a console. Started playing just PC. like 2010-ish or something like that. So I was like at school, etc. Didn't play console as much. I just used my computer. Yeah, it looks really cool. Like your friends can borrow them? Is that what you mean? That's so cool. Leeches in the fucking meadow rivers. I don't need this kind of stress. Yeah, that sounds great. Let your buddy go off in the world and have adventures, and he can come home and tell you about them. Sit around with a mug of buttered beer or mead by the fire. Those are like my favorite things in art. Those are my favorite things with like that whole fantasy RPG setting. It's like that classic like innkeepers and hearths and inns. I love all that stuff. Minstrels. Beautiful music that comes with it. That like legit vibe. Man, it's zooming right now. Look at this. Top speed. Yeah, I wonder why they like made the switch on it. I guess they thought it was like a hole in their IP that hadn't filled in a while. Sounds awesome. Love to hear it. I want those coins, but I want to live even more. Take all. Oh, it hurts. Okay, these guys are gonna hit me with these arrows, so I can't do this right now. Oh. For one, I gotta get my clothes on. Okay, do I go back for that? Made a Dragon's Dogma show? Okay, this is a mistake. I gotta get here. I'll do this some other time. I want those coins though. It's like 140 in there or something. The guy who created it, I believe, it did the last DMC games. So once he finished it, he was like, I want to do another Dragon Dogma. Netflix made a show about it? Was it animated? It looked like it had kind of like a Monster Hunter kind of vibe to it. All the still actions were like griffins and manticores and everything. Yeah, it looks really cool. Netflix has a lot of good animated shows. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Arcane. Those are both good. Within the last year. Both that were like video game IPs. A lot of people really like Demon Slayer. Chainsaw Man or whatever. Those are big animated shows recently. I've had enough of this leech. Can't populate these waters anymore. You're bothering me. I know a lot about League. I've played like my fair share of League over the years. It was like my, I don't know, like depression game to some degree. Arcane was like quite well done, like artistically, like cinematically. That game, that show, like it never gave you like a bland frame. It was like constantly pretty, and like a lot of people who don't know anything or like anything about that whole genre and everything watched it. Like friends of mine, who like I never would expect it. My friend likes like house music and like painting and shit. And out of nowhere, he just watched Arcane. All right, but he said it was really good. That's great. Yeah, 80s baby here for sure. Got the last bit of iron here. Drop some stuff off at the base. So I just need to make it to that last crypt. Yeah, same. I was born in May. Oh my god, the ground is shaking. I gotta fight these dudes. Okay, gotta get big food in here. Oh my god, this is what I'm doing before bed? Okay, where is he coming from? There he is. 2 trolls? Trying to take out my fucking base? Fuck you. Do either of them have a staff? Okay, I'm gonna try to draw them out so they don't just take this part out. Throwing rocks at me? Fuck you. How about that? Okay, neither of these guys have staffs, sticks at least. So this isn't so bad. They're hitting my spikes too, which is nice. Oh, I finally get to use my spikies. Okay, go up the other tower. Is there gonna be a third guy? Oh, how you like me now, bitch? Oh, he's coming. He's made it in yet? You gonna run away? There's a third one. Okay, I'm just gonna fight this guy. He's got the stick. I got a lot of health. This guy's coming. I'm coming in for this guy. Have you busted through yet? Yeah, over here you busted through. All right, motherfucker. All right. Oh, let me through, please. I gotta jump from the top. Yeah, the birthday's coming up. Me and my friends are discussing whether we're gonna do like a big thing for it or not. All right, how do you like me now? Hmm? Like a big trip. Yeah, we're thinking about doing a big trip, maybe somewhere in like Alberta or something. BC, some beautiful place. Some of my friends are doing like a European trip. Holy shit. 3 trolls? Alright, give me all your goodies. Yeah, I'm trying to like I think it's one of the biggest ones, you know? I think it's one of the biggest ones, so it's like I think a little more important to like try to commemorate. So like my friends and I haven't really done anything like this before. So we're thinking this might be an effective one, an appropriate one to do something bigger. All my friends have kids now, etc. Like they don't have the whole like they vacation with their family now. I guess it's a good time to be depressed. It's an appropriate one, I suppose. This is also, if I could say, like, probably, like, the best condition I've probably ever been in, like, mentally and physically. Like, COVID's been, like, a big transformative time for me, for sure. So, it's like, I'm actually, like, in better shape and, like, happier than I ever was, like, in previous years. So, I think it's, to some degree, it's a good thing to celebrate that, or to try to. I have enough food in me. I could restock that honey. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, all my friends are on the East Coast, and I just recently moved to the West Coast. So you and I are doing the big split. So you grew up in California and then moved to the East Coast recently? Oh, that was so cool in some ways. My defenses finally got to work. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and do that just make it to that last crypt. And then I'll be good to go. How do you like the East Coast versus living in California? I've only lived in BC for the last like 3 months or something like that, and it's been like the mildest winter of my life that I've spent in Canada, and made me wonder why I didn't do this earlier. I've always kind of meant to try this place out. Like, I don't know if I need to live in the city of Vancouver necessarily itself, but I really like living in this area. Like, it's fucking minus 30 in like parts of Ontario and PEI right now where my friends and family are, and it's like plus 7 here. Crazy, man. What a difference. It's insane. Okay, it's getting dark, so I should be able to make it to the final crypt. Hey. Hey, excuse me, buddy. I should be able to make it to I should be able to make it to the final crypt in time to be able to do this, to do the overnight. Did I repair my stuff? I did, yeah. That was really satisfying. I made all those defenses purely for the opportunity if trolls ever attacked and the ground shaking. So it's pretty busted up right now, but I'm really, really close to being able to go back to my base to start building the full stone one. So to actually get like a test run of how the defenses would have gone, it's like extremely satisfying. That's really great. Okay, I want to get that coin pile done before it's nightfall. Shit. Oh, it's so dark. It's so dark. It's like extra dark. Look at these guys. Such assholes. There's an abomination behind me as well. Going through here, please. Okay, I want these coins. This was 45. Take it, you idiot. There you go. Alright. So I managed to press the right button eventually. And now I get in there. The final crypt of this wonderful place full of crypts. And the interesting thing is that a lot of these crypts aren't even on the water. I was kind of getting the sense that a lot of these crypts were on the water. But not these ones. Alright. That's good for me. Good fucking session. Last time I got 2/3 of an iron, of a ship's hold full of iron. And this time I will at the end of this have a full ship's load of iron again. Which means that I probably have close to 450 iron from these days of mining it. So that's extremely, extremely satisfying. Devil Doc Morgan, I'm not sure if you're still there, but I'm off. Nice talking to you. Thanks for stopping by, and stop by some other time. I want to talk about some more of these games. Hope you have a good night, pal. See ya.